All right, let's do one more on thesis statements. All right, which one do we like for these two choices? The past 3 decades, coconut oil has been unjustly criticized as an artery clogging saturated fat. Cooking oil is plant, animal, or synthetic fat that is used in frying, baking, or other types of cooking. A or B? Which one makes a strong point and has things to discuss in the paper? Yeah, nobody's really going to argue about what cooking oil is. It's an observation rather than a strong point that could be discussed that might be somewhat debatable. So just remember, there's kind of a checklist. Is your thesis debatable? And not an observation? And does it give you about the amount of info that you need to cover? So basically, is the focus appropriate for the paper? Those are a couple vital questions to ask when you're constructing your thesis. Let's see. Do one more on thesis statements. So there have been over 200 movies about Count Dracula, most of them only very loosely based on the novel published by Bram Stoker. B, despite its title, Bram Stoker's Dracula, a film directed by Francis Ford Coppola, takes considerable liberties with Stoker's novel. Which one do we like, A or B? So why A? Defend your choice. Kaylee, I'm going to agree with you. Kaylee's choosing B. Can you discuss 200 movies about Count Dracula compared to Bram Stoker's novel in 3 pages? They both make a point, I'll give you that. But the first one is just going to be a very superficial view of a few books. It doesn't, you don't have enough time to really discuss everything that's different about 200 movies versus the novel. So the focus is too big. Okay. Whereas for B, I know it's tempting to go with A because it gives you a lot to cover. And that's something that students are generally very concerned about, is having enough information. Okay. However, B would let you get into an in-depth discussion with lots of examples that contrast the novel and the movie, and have a really interesting discussion of the differences between the two, as opposed to the other one being too much. You couldn't mention all 200 movies, so why, have them in your thesis? Now, if you said something like most of the movies, changed this thing, and you're going to look at how one aspect of the novel is changed in a great majority of the movies, that might be different and more focused. But you can't discuss the ways that over 200 movies are different from the novel. You can discuss the way one movie is different from the novel. That's why we're looking at these, right? So we can kind of get an idea. How are your thesis statements going? You feel like they're making a strong point, they have a good focus, they show us what you're going to cover in the essay. Maybe you tried an essay map. Make sure your essay map matches the order that you're going to talk about your subjects, right? Last thing, let's do just a quick review of a video. Here's one of the resources I'm going to give you for MLA. So this just gives us an introduction. So you can use this video to help create your presentation. It's about in-text citations, which is showing where your information came from. So we'll watch this, and then I will open up, I'll let you guys go, and then anybody who still has questions about their paper can stick around and ask me questions. Let's take a look at the video.
In-text citations, a vidcast lecture brought to you by Eliza Gillis in cooperation with the Purdue Online Writing Lab. What is an in-text citation? In MLA, when you reference others' work in your writing, you use a parenthetical or an in-text citation. This involves placing that source information in parentheses at the end of the sentence. So when do you need an in-text citation? You use in-text citations in two situations. One, when you directly quote someone, like here, for example, where we use Wordsworth's own words. Or two, when you reference or paraphrase their work, like we do here, when we summarize Wordsworth's ideas in our own words. So how do you cite in text? First, there's author page style. Just use the author's last name followed by the page number. There is no page number, just the name is fine. For example, here we show Wordsworth's name and the page where we got the quote. For a corporate author, just use the name of the organization followed by the page number, if there is one. As we can see here, we summarize information from an EPA report, listing both the EPA and the page for paraphrasing. For two authors, list both last names in the order they appear in the source, like we do here with Best and Marcus. For three or more authors, list the first author's last name and replace the other author's last names with et al. Just like the example, only the first author's name is shown. If you're using more than one work by an author, use a shortened version of the title in your citation to specify which work you're citing. Looking to the example below, here we use visual studies as a shortened title to let our readers know specifically which of Elkins's pieces we're quoting. And if there is no author, just use the shortened version of the title. Again, here we use impact of global warming to help our readers identify which piece we're quoting since this article has no author. With online sources, you're unlikely to have a page number, so just the author's name or the title is fine. For example, since the Purdue OWL webpage doesn't have numbered pages, we just list the authors who worked on the specific piece we're quoting. Still confused or unsure? When in doubt, just remember that your in-text citation should match up with the first thing listed for that source in your work cited. Lastly, there's signaling in text. That's when you incorporate all or part of your parenthetical citation into the sentence itself. Thinking through this, we can see from the example below that we've included the author's name, part of our citation, into the sentence itself. This is often the most elegant way to incorporate a quote and use an in-text citation. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to check out Purdue OWL's other resources on our website.
Okay, so as you see, that's just a brief introduction that goes through it pretty quickly, but it can help you format your presentation and your information that you're going to give us. No, go ahead, Alicia, if you have a presentation about or question. I'm going to let everybody else go. If you have questions, stick around and I will be happy to answer them. Otherwise, work on your draft. And I'll see you guys on Monday.
It was actually about an email. Andre got added to our group at the very end,
Okay.
and it won't let me add his Gmail to the Microsoft. It has to be a McKendree email.
Okay, I'll send you my McKendree email.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, that'll work.
Yeah. I don't know my McKendree email. That's why I didn't send.
Yeah, they're pretty strict about allowing us to use McKendree emails to communicate with you guys.
I just didn't know if there's any way to add a Gmail to it.
There isn't. Yeah, if you want to stick with the McKendree emails.
Alrighty.
Thank you for asking. Any other questions? Anything I can help you with?
Did Alyssa? Did you want me to say it out right now?
Can you just send it in the chat and I'll copy and paste it into the document?
Okay. Yeah.
That'll work. Who is college athlete couple?